Hello everyone and welcome to my review on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. As you can see, I'm playing the game. I don't have the best setup, so you're going to be seeing it the way it is. However, this is a 4K screen, so hopefully it'll look somewhat good. As you can see, the game is just amazing. It's beautiful. It's well done. But I only have about 10 minutes to do this review, so we're going to have to cover some things quick. As you can see, graphics are great. This is the PS4 Pro on a 4K TV. I also play it on my old PS4, which is where the VR is, and that's on a 480p TV. And the graphics are the one area that I have no complaint with. As you can see here, it's just incredibly well done. It's just amazing. The sound, on the other hand, is not so much of a great thing. Every sound effect, music cue, and so forth from the Eagle and everything is great, but certain characters, including Alexio, well, they just suck. I can't find any other great way to say that. They just suck. Controls and gameplay, however, let's take a look at that, are great. Sorry if it's getting a little problematic. I'm dealing with what I got. As you can see here, though, the world map is just massive. I mean, look at this. This is just how massive. See, look, there's the some of the mercenaries and stuff, so it's pretty big. And this affects everything. Now let's go over to some stuff here. Here's inventory, and as you can see here, there's no shield. There's no hidden blade. You are really, really determined. As you can see up here, here's your resources in the corner. So it's a big deal. Then we come to abilities, and this is also affected into gameplay a lot. And as you can see, in this particular playthrough, I am still not done. And look at that. Required level 23. That's right. You have to make a certain level just to unlock everything. And if you're thinking this skill right here can be acquired since they all have 3 tiers now, rethink that, because some of these actually have a level requirement themselves in order to play it. That's how serious this is. So it's not some simple little thing. But the controls are very similar to the last game. That's a godsend. Oh, thank God it's a godsend. And it just looks great, too. And I love that, although it's not as large as the last game, it's much more detailed. There's actual, work that has to go into this. And a couple of these have actually been put to their final stage and levels, like this one right over here. Archery Mastery, I couldn't help it. I had to get this master level. And they have 3 tiers, so from 1 to 3. This actually tells you just how serious it is. We also have, as you can see here, the ship menu. You have tiers, and there's a few things available, but I'm kind of saving all my gear. We also have here some of the new side quest characters you can unlock through certain missions and stuff. And each one's pretty cool. I love Odyssey here because she comes in real handy. And she had one of the best missions. I've chosen the Poseidon skin. It was just fun. The mercenary system, though, is probably my favorite because they're much more complicated. They're much more impressive. I do wish this was a little better so you could see all the detail, but you just have to live with what we've got. There are actual tiers here, as you can see. Sorry again about the screen, and it just looks good. And let's pull in on one of them here. And they're pretty good. I'm sorry, yes, again, I really do wish this had been a little more here. Let me give it a second. As you can literally see, yeah. It's still not too bad, but again, this does come back to bite it in the butt. But it's a great system. Now, let's cover a few more things here. And we have the final point of the game, which is the cultist system. It's probably a good thing you can't see everything here. So let's cover something. We have the red ones are cultists that are dead. This is one of the first ones you will encounter in the game. That's how you kind of know they're dead. And it gives you a profile on them and everything, which is cool. There's other ones that are alive. And each one of these guys has clues and information that then go into uncovering these stages here. And this is a big system. This is actually something I'm really going to invest my time and energy into just because of how good it is. And as you can see, there's just a lot of work that's gone in here, even into the abilities, everything. Unfortunately, that still doesn't make this a great game. And look, you have 3 areas of power, and that's pretty cool. But again, this is not a perfect game. And I do want to get to this because this is just going to give you a real hint on how massive the world is. I mean, look at this. this is a big world. This is actually some people's complaints, and I don't blame them because it is massive. It's too massive. The bugs that have popped up in the game, this is part of my area where I'm going to, lay into the game a little bit. Some of them are absolutely atrocious. There's one that freezes the game. You're trying to move and you're freezing for like 2 or 3 seconds. I mean, it's annoying. I've had a guy stuck in a wall. I've had characters where they had their entire outfits just pop up on them. That's just too weird. But luckily, the worst has been the freezing. At least here on Sony PlayStation 4 and Pro. So that's the worst I can point in. But it does happen in some of the most unopportunistic areas. So to give you a hint. There's a new conquest system involved. There's plenty of resources. So in the microtransaction area, that's not the biggest problem. They are not required. Okay, you do not need to, dare I say it, buy them in order to enjoy this game. That's one thing I give Ubisoft some credit on. But they're still annoying and they're still there. The worst, though, is the resource parts. Now, the good news is if you know what you're doing, you can get a lot of resources to do your stuff in this game. But I can see where, for the money and that, it's going to become a little bit of a, do I want it or not? That's about the worst part. The story, though, on the other hand, I cannot tell you how much I love it. I don't want to spoil the main quest line. That's just too much for anybody who hasn't played. And I'm working my butt off. I'm playing 2 games and then I'm going to work. So I haven't had a full chance to beat the entire game, but I've seen a lot, and there are multiple endings. The side quests are the problem, though. Yes, these side quests are indeed the problem here. I really do wish I was making that up, but I would say 40% of them are actually good. It's the rest of the 60% that are among this line. Oh, here's a fort. Go kill everything. There are 50 people. Go kill them. Escort this to someone so you can deliver to them. Give me money. This is what the game has kind of become. It's kind of an annoyance. Oh, my God. And it's like every 6 or 9 of these missions, there's a set that are just beyond reproach. I mean it, too. They are just fantastic. I love this stuff. For example, the Odyssey character, she's got a great side quest mission. It starts in where you're beginning the game, which, hold on one second, let me see if I can get you, oh, damn it. Damn it. Hold on, give me 1 second, so I can show you where it is. There it is. I can't even pronounce it right. But this is where she is, because this is Odysseus' palace. This is where you're going to find her when you start the game. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, this island alone would be some people's games. So it gives you a hint. And her mission was just great. There's plenty of options, and it goes all the way back to the mainland. There are several other missions like this that just make you want to go, oh, God, yes, I want to play. But again, you do have the few problems. The good news is most of the microtransactions are actually cosmetic. It's just those quick one-time things that are stuck to your profile, which isn't bad. And I understand why there are people who are totally pissed. If I was a person who's played the previous games and is just trying to play the story mode, which is pretty much all they were, I would be pissed too, because now you're level gated. And it's going to come back to bite you so effectively in the butt that it's not even funny. I mean it too. It's not. And, hold on 1 second, sorry. And it is. But the graphics are incredible. The story is incredible. And there are a lot of really good side quest missions. I see where it's going to hurt some people in the buying department, but it's a good game. And this is the current form of the game. It's getting better. They are fixing the bugs. They are working on stuff. It's beautiful. It's just beyond reproach on that regard. And remember, we don't even have the DLC yet. We don't even have 3 and Liberations, which are being remastered, which you're going to get if you're a season pass holder like myself. This game is worth everything. I mean, it's just amazing. And let's go have a look here. I mean, just look at that. And the frame rate is very solid, too. It's actually better than the last game. With that being said, I have to give this game credit. It's just beautiful. It's well done. I do intend to review some of the other games, like some other games. I'm going to do these 31 Days of Halloween, so it's going to be great. The game officially, and sorry about this, is going to earn a solid... You can't even see it. Shit. Hold on. is going to earn a solid 8. I hope you enjoy it, and I highly recommend it. Have fun.